Hey, yo, I used to be one of those people too. Yeah, I used to be like, hey, is Zangief and Hugo related? You know what I mean? Or like, do they even know each other? Have they ever fought? Well, I'm gonna give you the scoop on why these two have never fought and why Zangief knows Hugo, but Hugo can give two shits about Zangief. Hugo and Zangief are not even in the same tier bracket. We're not talking about gameplay specifics, nothing like that. We're talking about lore right now. Hugo is 50. Zangief is like late 30s. No. He's 40 something. There's a 10-year difference here. Hugo went into the professional circuit and really made a name for himself when he was like 20 years old. Zangief was 10 at the time. But what people don't know is Zangief used to watch the Andores family on TV when he was younger. Oh, my bad. Who's the Andores? You can say Andor, Andores, Andre, hell. I just say Andores. That's at least that's how I was brought up knowing it. But it's a family of them motherfuckers. It's Hugo's family. It's his grandpapa, his father, his uncle, and his younger brother. Now, Grandpa Andores, he started it all. He's the root of this shit. He found a couple of bimbos on the street and just went crazy. Nah, I'm just playing. But yeah, that's Grandpa Andores. Then there's Hugo's father, Father Andores. That's Hugo's pops. Then he has a younger brother, Andores Jr. That's Hugo's younger brother. If you're probably confused about the other one, the one that wears the mechanic suit that look like overalls, that's Hugo's uncle. But anyway, they've been doing this shit for decades, bro. The Andores family, honestly, are legendary in the wrestling circuit. They all was born abnormally big. Everybody was born over 6 feet. No, I'm just joking, but these some fucking buffaloes, man. Seriously. And you do know that Hugo was based off Andre the Giant, right? But all bullshit aside, Zangief as a youngster looked up to these guys. He was very familiar with the Andores family, even though they were from Germany and he was in Russia. But I mean, they were familiar with these people. These guys were superstars in his eyes. So one day he actually went to their circuit. This is real. Zangief met them backstage and wanted an autograph. They completely ignored him. I think Grandpa Andores was like, somebody get this scrawny kid out of here or something like that. But it hurt Zangief, seriously. But one thing it definitely did was fuel the new fire up under Zangief's ass. I'll tell you that. He vowed to make sure that he become big and strong, just like those guys, and he was going to end up teaching them a lesson. Or anybody else, for that matter. He never wanted to be called scrawny and skinny ever again. And look what happened. Yeah, what a lot of people also don't know is that the Andores family, they were pretty smug guys, man. They weren't good guys. They had pretty much of an attitude problem. They already knew they were big. They were already big and wider than the average man. I mean, they kind of intimidated a lot of people wherever they went. They did it like on purpose. Even Grandpa Andores, like he was a complete asshole. But anyway, they moved to the U.S. to make an even bigger name for themselves. And they did that. I'm talking about tag titles, hardcore titles, world heavyweight titles. They did that. Now, the wrestling money was good, but it wasn't enough for them to truly, genuinely take care of the whole family. So they got approached by this big, gigantic guy one day named Abigail, who saw potential in them and was like, hey, yo, I work for this crew. They pay me a fortune. We could use a bit of extra muscle on the squad. Like, listen, you guys come work with us. You know what I'm saying? You'll be bodyguards, basically. Like, that's how he pitched it to him. You guys will be alongside with me. We'll be the bodyguards for these guys. Well-known guy named Belger or whatever the hell his name was. He'll pay you a freaking fortune, Hell yeah, the Andores family, they were down. They was like, okay, yeah, bodyguards and get paid, twice or 3 times more than what they was already getting paid from the wrestling circuit. Yeah, so they did it. And we all know that it turned out to be the Mad Gear Gang. Papa Andores really didn't matter. They didn't care the fact that it was a gang or not, as long as they got paid. That's all they gave a damn about. long as you come with that money. Don't give a damn about shit else. If you don't come with that money, we're gonna crush every last one of you motherfuckers out here. And they knew they could do that. But alas, man, hanging around with the Mad Gear Gang definitely came with some consequences. Start putting a bad rep on Hugo and even his brothers and his papa, But one day, something strange happened. The gang tried to mug some guy in a nearby alley, and everybody got their ass whipped. So a couple of the members ran back and got Hugo and his brother in them, and was like, hey, we need y'all to go handle something for us real quick. So they did. Now the guy that they tried to mug but couldn't turned out to be Alex. His car broke down and he was trying to fix his car, and then here they come starting some shit, but he put a beating on all their ass. Well, when Hugo and the others came, a fight did ensue. And it wasn't an easy battle, but at the end of the day, Hugo got his first loss ever in life. I'm talking about that boy Alex put a beating on his ass. You hear me? He laid all their ass out. But that was the day that sparked fuel and more fire inside Hugo. And that's why he hated Alex ever since. That's how Alex ended up becoming his rival, not Zangief. And when rumor had it that this kid was also a professional wrestler, an aspiring professional wrestler as well. Oh, that didn't do nothing but piss him off even more. Hugo wanted revenge, bro. But Hugo has never lost a fight, but he lost to Alex. So that's what sparked that fuel, though. Meantime, this is the same time when, years done went by already, and Zangief is actually making his name in the circuit as the Red Cyclone. He's actually built a name for himself, becoming massively strong, kind of abnormally strong if you ask me. And so over in Russia, he's doing his thing, and he's becoming a major powerhouse in the wrestling circuit. Up and coming fast. See, now this is the part right here that Capcom them don't tell y'all about. I know I'm not tripping. Years and years ago, back when this shit was, I'm talking about the beta stage, back when Dreamcast was out. On this stage, there were a couple of beer bottles sitting around that goddamn chair over there with that teddy bear sitting on, with the World Heavyweight Championship belt sitting right there. There was some beer bottles sitting around that way too, or whatever. See, they don't want to admit that, but I don't know. These later updated versions and stuff, it's been removed. I'm not crazy. But long story short, man, Hugo had developed a drinking problem after that loss to Alex. He had went into a deep depression. He did. If you ever notice why he does that little stumbling shit, all that type of shit, like he can't stand up straight and he be moving and wobbling all funny, that's why. Because Hugo developed a little bit after that. He fell into depression and he developed a bad drinking problem. You know what I'm saying? But he could still tear your ass up though. You know what I'm saying? He's like a functioning alcoholic, basically. So yeah, Hugo was the reason for Zangief's prosperity. Yeah, so but Hugo never really, cared or wasn't studying Zangief, man. His whole primary objective was Alex. He wanted to put another he didn't care about nothing but that damn loss, boy. That's why Hugo really prides himself on being number one. If you never notice, he always screams that. Because growing up throughout life from an adolescence to adulthood, he never lost a fight. But yeah, that's it, man. That's the link between Zangief and Hugo. At the end of the day, there is none. One's from Russia, the other one's from Germany. They only met once, and Hugo probably don't even remember it because they ignored him. They wasn't really friendly people. But Zangief was very familiar with the Andorra's family. So, but at the end of the day, Hugo is legendary, bro. It is what it is.